end of the week, get the rest of the replays up for you guys as well from the last couple weeks. Okay, I was trying to put together like a really organized way that everyone could kind of audit their offers and then I can audit as well. So, have you guys made it through most of the Hormozy book?
I listened to the whole book. I've read maybe half, 2/3 of the way,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I've listed out problems and solutions.
He's a good communicator. Like some people, I like their books better than their like audibles or even their YouTubes. And then some people, I think he does a good job with the way he talks of like communicating it even better than the book does. Like his books on their own, I'm kind of like, I feel a little lost, quite frankly. But when he like talks through it with the way that he explains it, I think it is helpful to have like both, but I prefer his audibles. But also all of us like I don't so I studied this Harvard study one time. So this was a helpful thing for even understanding like in the online world of education. So everybody kind of learns like it's one of I think three ways. Some people are better learners like reading and taking that information. Some people are better hearing it, and then there's obviously like seeing it, but essentially like what Alex says in the front of his books is like the more ways you can do it. So let's say he even taught it with it like the whole book, and that's why he does the courses. So when you guys are thinking about too, when you're educating people and communicating with people, that's why let's say a sales call is going to be a lot more effective on a Zoom with
Mhm.
with a sales PDF and then with examples. Do you see how because then you're hitting like all the different ways. So that's kind of what we're doing with the sales PDF as well, is we're taking that visualization way and really helping people understand what it is you're offering.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions before we get started about the sales PDF or
Um,
even like hiccups you've run into?
so ideally, is the sales PDF something you send before the sales call, or they have it in hand, or how, like, at what point do they?
Oh, that's a great question. Let me try something out. So I've been playing with the whiteboards on Canva. And let me map. Honestly, it's because like I don't usually like other people's like things. That's kind of the thing. Sketch up your ideas, withdraw. Let's try this out. Cause like the whiteboard on Zoom is terrible, right? So can you draw a circle? Okay. Find me in the toolbar. I don't know. I just like to type things up. Let me just type it up for you because I feel like if I start to go down this whole like thing. One sec. I'm gonna get a piece of paper, a Google document for you. So if you don't, I have this selling with soul approach, which um best selling with soul. Let me try and find a couple things for you guys real quick.
Yeah, sure.
This is a good one. I'm gonna give you two, and then the other one is this one. I'm finding it and then okay, let's see. Okay. I'm going to edit this. It's an older version, but I'm going to share my screen and walk you through this. Yeah, so let's do the setup and then go over the sales PDF. So this is, we're going to do an updated. I'm going to make it look cuter in a minute. We'll say 2024. So I was selling with Soul Approach, and this is essentially attached to the PDF. Hey, Melissa, good to see you.
Sorry,
What a
my
pretty
little one is here
room.
again. Thank you. I know.
Hello.
She needs to be like a junior member at this point.
Absolutely. She's
Yeah,
getting certified. We could send her through Automate.8. She gets her own
exactly. So,
certification.
yeah, she could
Yeah,
do it, I think.
she
Right.
could.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. And if she couldn't, then I need to fix it, you
Right.
know? Yeah, I'm okay with that. We
Uh,
were talking about, so April had a
right.
question about just
Yeah.
because it's like you ladies, right? I want to get you on the same page. Um, how do what is the order though of doing all this, right? So I'm actually going to start at the very beginning with this. It's lead, the call, and the sale, right? And the call is like the Zoom, right? So you've got a social media post, or it could be an email went out as well if they're already on your list, right? It could be there's a referral as well, right? So somebody carry like it could be a return client. Okay. So those are kind of the first entry to the sale you're doing. If it is social media, they may have liked or commented or message it, right? So the first thing you want to do is, and I'm going to kind of update this as we go through it, is you want to book a call within 24 to 48 hours. And this is the piece I think like people miss on the urgency. And the truth is like not everyone's going to be available in 24 to 48 hours. But what you're going to do is like that's essentially the goal. So everybody say it together. We're going to go through this. Book the call within 24 to 48 hours.
Book the call in 24 to 48 hours.
Like you must live by this. This is like I'm teaching sales right now, okay? Then you're going to give them two options. Okay, so this is the fast, I would say, okay, yeah, fast selling with soul approach because what this is like if you need cash in hand, and honestly, this is really if you had a salesperson on your team, they better just be calling, right? Like, so I signed up for this like event that I want to go to in April with David Bett Thompson or whatever his last name is, owner of like the Yankees and stuff. And like he's huge and it's a sales thing. And the tickets cost 5K, 10K, and 20K. Well, I want a 20K one because like I want to rub elbows. Like I want to be in that group and I want to sell my services and I want to get pictures and it's a PR thing essentially. So they've been calling and emailing me every single day for like 8 days since I filled this thing out, okay? So I think like the reason I'm bringing this up is like do any of you guys have a sales track record like that right now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is anybody calling a lead even if they didn't book a call? So ideally,
Yeah.
like you have somebody on the team, like big picture, who just calls people. In the meantime, I don't. I have a few times, and I have for one of my clients because I was just showing him how to get his ROI, and I did close like 4K. I did one text and one 5-minute call, and I closed it. But it's like it does close faster. So if not, though, let's say you're Facebook messaging someone, they're like, "Hey, I'm interested." You're like, "Awesome." Even before I send the quiz, if I'm in the fast action mode, I book the call. But guess what I will do? I will cancel the call if they are not qualified. Does that make sense? So this is if it's one-to-one. This is not the automated sales qualification funnel. Everybody on the same page with me with this?
Yeah.
So you give them two time options within that work for you. You don't do this back and forth. You ask what time zone they're in. One second, let me get out of caps. Okay, because you want to say, okay, so and you offer it then. Okay, they're in Pacific. Okay, would tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific or tomorrow at 2 p.m. work for you? And at that point, if they can't, then you essentially say, what's your best email? And I'll book you in. Then real quick. So then here's down here, right? If they say no, I'm going to add a little point. Send them your whole funnel then. So that's when you're going to still lead to this point, right? Okay, well, real quick, I've got you in real quick. Please fill out this short quiz. I always use words like short and quiz so I can learn more about you and your fill in the blank style goals, right? So right here is like their goals. Oops. Different keyboards, like going between a laptop and this one. Before the call. Thanks. Let me know when it's filled in. Here it is. And then you want to follow up with them. I don't do that. So got it, right? Like, so then follow up in like 15 minutes, unless you are on a call. So, or after your next call, hey, I haven't got it yet. I need to have that in before we confirm our time so I can make sure to check out what you've got going on and show up prepared for our call. Do you see how I'm making everything about them? But this is also, it is about them, but it's also so I know they're a good fit. Any questions about this so far?
When you say send them your whole funnel, what does that mean?
Sure. So what that means to me is I would go like, so some of you might not have this full thing filled in. I would just send them to this. I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
okay, no worries. Why don't you go through this? Fill this in. The one thing I sometimes will do is send them to directly to page 2 if we've been talking, just to like, so I save this in the notes in my thing, in my biz links. Okay. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll also send them directly to the application page at that point. Okay, no problem. If you need a few minutes, like here's the link, and on the next page, you'll be able to schedule directly in for the next couple weeks. Does that make sense? So at
Mhm.
that point, still, we're automating the quiz. The next page on this funnel is the calendar that's booked in directly. Is this helping
Okay.
you, ladies? Are
Yeah,
you
that makes sense.
following flows like this? Because it really needs to be systemized like this.
Mhm.
Okay. So then fill this out. So I already did that. So this would be what I say at that point, right? I'm going to move this up here. So this is like what I say. If they do oh, that won't work, I'm booked out, they're not wanting, okay, well then let me know when you're booked in. And I have this, and that's where I send them to. So you can send them straight to application or calendar. I send them to scalewithtiana.com. Everybody with me?
Mhm.
Is this
Mhm.
helpful?
Yeah,
This is the flow you need to memorize and learn. If you skip your steps, guess what's going to happen? Why don't you tell me what'll happen if you skip steps?
it won't work.
Yeah, it won't work.
You will
If you
lose.
leave that little teaspoon of baking soda out of a cake, anybody ever done it? Ever left the butter out? Like how many I've left out probably each except for flour. I've left out like, an egg, I've left out the baking soda, the salt, these little things that are like, "Oh, it shouldn't make a difference." And then you're like, "It's ruined. It's ruined." Right? So
And you
these
spent all that time.
what?
Yeah,
And money? I
spent all
mean,
the
how
time. Yeah, yeah.
cookies and cakes sometimes is expensive. It
Yeah.
was like $20 a batch. I mean,
Got
that's not that much money, but it's a lot of time. Yeah, and you're like, "It's gonna be perfect," and then you look in and you're like, "Why are they flat? Dang it." And, like, you're rewinding in your brain. Okay, so this is a recipe for success. Let's do this, okay? Recipe for success. The goal is you're in charge. Say it, "I'm in charge."
I'm in charge.
I move them from yes to yes to yes. I
I move
move
from
them
yes
from yes to
to
yes.
yes to
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Yes. We want everybody like, yes. Okay. So if they haven't got it, this kind of thing. Okay. So now here's the softwares. Now here's what's cool. This is older. So all these different softwares, like essentially we're just like go high level and Zoom, and you can do the free until you're ready to upgrade. But so okay, questions about this. Is this helpful? Now, here's what's different. Like, let's talk a little bit about this funnel. And like you guys have the template for this. If you didn't hire me to build it yourself, it is in your this program. Okay. So the thing about the page 4, let's get to the sales PDF, is let me go there. Okay, the sales PDF confirmation page, just so I can jump there without filling in all the blanks, right? Okay, so this is page 4 of that funnel. This is why this funnel is a killer freaking funnel. And your form has been received. We'll be in touch. They can download the PDF. And again, I need to change this to a Google Drive. It should not go to a Canva link. And then they can watch me walk them through it as if I'm on a sales call. Like I think it's a 10 or 15-minute video. So I lead with a 1 minute, 2 minute advertisement video, right? Of VSL. And then this video is like, and also if you guys make your videos, I know at least one of you, there was a bonus. Carrie, I think it was you. If you make your video, I'm gonna have my video editor edit it. It was because Carrie signed up for something else and I just like totally like was like, send me that video. So on the page 1 video, too many people put something like this on the landing page. Let me be clear about what I'm talking about. This is just like a 2-minute video. I don't find that most people are going to listen to how 15 minutes at this point. But on page 4, when they have gone through each step, they actually will a lot of times. And they'll download your offer and they will listen to you walk it through. And that then, if somebody does each of those steps, this is why I love this funnel so much, is all these steps over here, it makes my job so much freaking easier. Essentially, I could just say, I could do shortcut, short on time version. Awesome. I'd love to learn more about you and your goals. This is what I literally say. Please fill out this short quiz here and I'll be in touch ASAP and we can book a Zoom. Boom. So do you see how like a funnel helps all those steps?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, however, sometimes that bit of back and forth on the Facebook, on the Instagram is what is going to convert them. So I do read the room, but otherwise you want to do this. This actually usually books it in because this is leaving too much in their hands. Let's talk psychology. So if I go here, even though it definitely helps me on my time, and sometimes I'm really just not in the place to go through all these steps. If I'm booked out and I've got a day full of stuff going on, I can't be doing the back and forth. I'll be like, "Hey, I'll follow up with you," and that's when I do something like, "Hey, did you fill this thing out yet? I haven't gotten it. I really need that ahead of time." Okay, so I'd skip to that step. However, if you follow each of these actual steps, you're going to book way more sales calls and close more. So if you're in a situation where you need more sales calls, this is the way to do it. This is the formula. I'm super excited teaching this to you guys because like we don't always get there, right? Like we have all these things to build and but this is the pre-work to the PDF. Everyone with me? So I
Okay.
recommend, just side note, once you get the PDF dialed in, the reason I don't lead with telling you to build this whole funnel is the truth is this is a lot of work for this funnel unless you hired me to do it one-to-one. And even with it, I wouldn't even have you do the page 4 video until we have dialed in that PDF so much because this is a lot of work. So we have to like dial in your audience in order to like really make this happen. Okay, so any questions about this before we dive into our PDFs?
No, that's super helpful.
Mm-hmm.
You'll share the script with us, Tiana?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So I will give this to you guys
I
and
can
then you can,
screenshot it, but yeah, thank
yeah,
you.
no. So
Yeah.
we're gonna do I'm gonna change the header before I send this to you guys, and I'll send you it with the recording. I'll actually put it 7-figure club and Shine will make this one. And then here's a script that I got from somebody else, and then I kind of customized it. Um, and it's okay. So if you need like more in-depth things, I think this is helpful because at this point, I already am like, I know how to run my sales
Yeah.
calls, but I will also give you guys this as well.
Okay.
Cool. So this is like its own, like just practice kind of maybe you go through this, make it your own based on your questions, okay? So,
But
but this is
also, oh,
mhm,
sorry, I was gonna say if they've made it to that point, it's like they most likely want to work with you in some
yes.
capacity. So it's like
Yeah.
hopefully you don't have to like go through that whole
You
got it.
really don't have to. It
Yeah.
would be more like probably like these people
Cold call.
like for
Yeah.
these sales events have something like this. If you're
Got
like
it.
cold calling someone and somebody actually gives you the time of day. When
Okay.
I say cold calling, and even like what Sabri Stibby talked about, I think I shared that video with you guys. Let me know if I didn't. Essentially, cold calling now is like a Loom video or these direct messages, attracting them into your inbox, kind of answering questions, doing live streams. I think those are far more effective than cold calling somebody. We still want to have our attractor factor up. Okay. All righty. So let's go to our PDF. This is the fancy schmancy one that took me like 30, 40 hours. We're not going to go there, but I'll tell you why it works. Also, where did I brought up yours? Where is it at? Let's see.
Yeah. And sorry, Tiana, do you want me to give you the login to my
Now, if
Canva?
you do a share, then I could edit it if I
Okay.
needed to. I mean, it looks really good. Let's use Melissa's as an example.
Um,
Um, Go ahead.
yeah, let me share it with you then.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. That way I can, when
Yeah.
I'm
Let me
going through
see.
it, I'll do
I
that.
know you and I are connected in here.
Do either of you have Canva versions? Carrie, had you started on that one or would you like me to kind of have my own from an old one we used if you want me to edit yours a bit on the spot as well.
My windows were getting in the way. Everything kept popping above my mute. I haven't started on the new one you just
Okay.
sent, but we have the old one.
Yeah. So I can maybe go through that for the sake of like bundling, and then later today we could start on that bigger one. Or maybe I'll start at the moment. I'll probably just do the bundle. Today I think like so the more important thing than even okay, I would not say it's more important than design. But I think when we bundle, when we do the work we've all been doing the last like week and a half, when you then get to the design, even though the design can be like, oh, is it gonna work? When the design works, because you have this clear cut offer, that's the meat, but the design will win people over. They'll be like, oh my goodness, it just looks so amazing. But when then you have the meat and you personally have the clarity, you know what I like with the sales PDFs? I just want to give you guys some of my like, again, this is like this very clear mastermind, right? So how I look at a good PDF is that it helps me get sold out over and over again on my package. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm offering this. I can't, like I'm going through it, getting excited. And that's what I think a Grand Slam offer does, right? Like it doesn't matter about what price you price it at. That's gonna be money mindset work at this point, right? Because you guys have all invested in this. Some of you invested in one-to-one extra. Like you know people pay because you pay. And that's the beautiful part when you do pay high ticket is you enter. That's why do I want to go to a $20,000 ticket thing? Because I want to be around other people who pay $20,000 for a ticket. Are you guys with me? I'm like, that's where we should go meet up. Forget Dallas. Let's go to Florida. Let's all go. Let's make our money go there. Then you can pay me for the extra day. We'll work together and we'll have fun. But seriously, no, I want you to come to Dallas, all of you. Okay. So, but the thing is, actually, I have a photographer who's coming to my office. We'll talk about it after the hour. I'm so excited. I already booked it. I was like, whatever, it's happening. Whoever wants to join me can join me. Okay. So your PDF edit link. Thank you. Let me open that up.
That should be able to, I think you
Yep.
should.
Perfect. Okay, and the other thing I opened up, if you guys didn't do it, let me show you this before we dive into personal edits so you can have it like later. I think this is a good way, like after reviewing the book. I opened up here, all these different things open. I shut down everything ahead. You know, his offer creation thing. So this is here. Let me just make a note really quick of what I'm gonna put in our I'm gonna make a copy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna call this a Shine version. It's gonna have like this huge resource center. So it's just all in one link for today, just for you guys. Okay, so I'll have one extra one. Okay, so this is what I would recommend. I'm gonna do it at the bottom here. Let's do acquisition Hormozy links. What I would recommend you do even after this call, because I really think like flush this sucker out, like beat that dead horse. Okay, you gotta flush this thing out. I would say go to this link, and I would grab his. I'll grab these links. This is the offer one that we talked about. Okay, full offer. I didn't find this extremely helpful, but just so you can have it. The ones that I think are a little bit better would be here's guarantees. This is really good because essentially what you're doing is what we want to do is make a decision, right? Like today. So you can always edit, but like I think where people get is like the whole like paralysis, like perfectionism, like, oh, well, there's so many choices. Anybody feel the overwhelm? I feel like everyone probably felt it a little this last week, like the overwhelm of like all this, like there's so many problems and I can create so many.
I know the energy was just so heavy. Yeah.
It is. And so we're gonna lighten the thing up. I did a lot of due diligence myself behind the scenes, you guys, the last week and a half for you, so that when we came to put all this together, we could really lighten it up, make some decisions and rock it. Sound good? Okay, and then there's this one. So this would be I think this was this the guarantee? And I think you actually do it in the opposite order. I'm going to do it. Did anybody love what he had to say also about the bonuses being like, make the offer without any bonuses? Can we talk about this for a minute? Because this was a really, really good point that I'm going to try out. Make the offer without any bonuses. And then if they have an objection and don't buy, make
Mhm.
the bonus be the reason they didn't buy. And also, you know what I loved what he said? Your bonuses could actually be more valuable than the offer. And I thought that was fair. I was like, yeah, why not? And then if they have another objection, you're like, well, this bonus is this thing. And then I also loved how you have like, so I usually do like a 24-hour pay in full thing where I'm like, if you pay in full, I'll knock this 2K. But he's like, don't discount your offer. Instead, give like a bonus that's a time sensitive bonus. Okay, so I just wanted to share all that with you because I feel like, you know, having gone through this, and there's a lot of these things that were already in place for you guys even before the book because of the work I've done on this for you. But like I would say those things were really helpful, like the objection, and then also combining efforts. Like, so April, for example, I think you would be a great person that you should give me a bonus style session for my clients. Let's say we're doing in person and it's free, but you'd get new clients because they're going to need your help styling, right? Or maybe there's a
Mhm.
course. So let's say Carrie, I'm like, hey, could you give me your mini course, the SEO? I'm going to put it as a bonus behind the scenes, but I'm going to link it back to you. For me, for any of you, if you're like business thing, like, hey, Tiana teaches this Canva business branding, but if you want to do it yourself, but here's that mini thing. It's just, you always want to give the person the link back, right? So you don't make money off that one thing, but it's freaking free marketing, which is the most expensive part about business.
Mhm.
Isn't this exciting? So I hope that everyone is starting to feel some excitement, some joy, some thinking about what ways we all could work together, what ways you could bring in some other people. Okay. So we're going to be decisive though. We're going to be decisive on these offers. Okay. So let's keep breaking this down. So these will be in here, and I'm just going to make that note. Make bonuses that would match people's most common objections. So you guys understand how to do that? Like, have it ready. Be
Mm.
smart. You
Yeah.
got to think on your feet sometimes with sales too.
Yeah.
So like it might be like, so somebody said to me, you know, like, well, I'm not sure about, I mean, the price is usually going to be a big one. But maybe it's not really the price. Maybe the thing is they wanted something else included. That's what he's trying to say. So this is why the sales call, and also knowing, okay, so all the pain points you talked about, this is why. So you're like, actually, I do have, like, for you, Carrie, like you're selling this one thing. They're like, well, like blah, blah, blah. You're like, well, actually, I have this amazing SEO thing that you can tap into today. And when you sign up, I'm going to give that to you as a bonus because I just want to gift that to you. And it's actually worth over $2,000. And I'm not going to charge you a penny for it. And they're like, and then if they're like, well, like, you know, the branding, be like, you know what? Actually, my friend Tiana has this incredible done with you brand kit that she's actually given me permission. She sells it for a lot of money. If you hire one-to-one, it will cost you, but she's given it to me. And I actually can talk to her and give that to you today as well. So essentially you're just going slash, slash, slash. What's the real problem here? Did you waste both our time? So
Yeah.
we want to assume they're ready to buy, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. And so remember that his price points, we want our price points separated from everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That was
has
so
everybody
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, to start with, it's the psychology though.
Yeah.
Like, did you guys even see there was a video, and I'll try and find it on YouTube. They did this big thing. It was like in the Beverly Hills area, and they took Payless shoes and they retitled
Mhm.
the store.
Yeah.
They put it in a
Yeah.
fancy like mall, and and everyone's like, oh yeah, these would totally go for, and they're like, literally, they refunded people their money, and I think they gave them the shoes too because it's a big
Yeah.
marketing thing.
Yeah.
And it really goes to show the luxury level. You know, if you saw the same item that was at a Tiffany store, but it was just at the thrift store, would you ever buy that for $5,000? Would you even buy it for 100 at a thrift store?
Yeah.
Location matters. And you guys, I'm sure you've seen too, and you know, fellow musicians on this call, that very famous violinist playing in the subway and people just walking on by. And that night, he had like sold out seats for like people paying thousands of dollars to see him. He's one of the best in the world. And I know for myself, going from playing coffee shops for free or $100, and when I got into the college scene, which would pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to thousands, I was like, what? The same hour? And it would be a 40-minute gig compared to a 4-hour gig. It was this, I'm the same person, but you gotta go where people value you. And that means you need to position yourself in a valuable way. This is what this is really about. Does this all make sense? So this is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So like the lady who I helped her make like $180,000, I think she total paid me $5,000. She never gave me a bonus. She never gave me a kickback. She took me out to eat. She did rehire me for a sales thing, made over 2 million, and I only got paid like 3,000. And this is what I mean about raising your freaking prices. Because if you know that like what you do really gets results. It's not about me saying, "Hey, today I'll help you make a PDF for $1,000." You know, I know you can make $100,000 from that $1,000. And I hope that good people, when you match with other givers, give back to you. Say, you know what, Tiana, thank you so much. And the same thing, like Carrie, let's say you help me with my SEO, which you have, and like when it's finally rolling in, like I am that person. You guys maybe see it or don't, but like I want us to be givers, but we don't need to give away our amazingness.
Yeah.
Or give it away at a freaking discount. And I've definitely been guilty, and always the best example, because of cash flow and because of needing cash flow and wanting to help the people in my business who are starting out because it's my passion, or want to get to the next level, or just a super nice person. So, but we have to come to this place where we're like, okay, no, I am a hot commodity, and no, I'm not as hot a commodity as maybe what I'll be in 1 year, but I need to position myself with that goal in mind. Does that help everybody? You kind of have to pretend like you're the sold out Hollywood stylist, and like nobody can get on your agenda, and you have to show up with that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I ask a quick question? And if it's too long, just be like, no. So I had this call yesterday, and I felt like I kind of lost control of it, and I didn't get to like really sell and communicate the value the way that I wanted to. So she wanted me to send some stuff over. And so now I'm like kind of in my head about like, what do I send that can like communicate this value that I think like I still think she would work with me, but I think I could give her like a higher price if do you know what I mean?
Okay, so number one is this, just say my price is not flexible. Everybody say it with me. My
My
price is not flexible. So it doesn't matter what she'll give you. All we can ever do is pitch what you have.
Mhm.
And if you want to pitch, if she's like, well, that's too much, be like, okay, let's take away half of it. And it could be this then. You can do that, but don't discount, take things out,
Got it.
and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can do that. But to answer your question about sales calls, like why scripts are important is like, just so you guys know, you should always be the one asking a question. So if somebody asks you a question, you answer it and then you ask a question back. So say this out loud with me. I'm the one asking the questions.
I'm
I'm
the
the
one
one asking the
I
questions.
feel like I'm like FBI
Yeah.
interrogation. That's what it's like.
the questions.
You're
Yeah.
just doing it with a smile on your face. Okay,
Yeah.
so tell me more, because you're uncovering. And this is why you start the call. This is how you start the call. Everybody just repeat after me. Let me train you a little bit. Hey, so great to be here with you today.
Hey, so great to be here with you today.
Yeah, say it clearly. Let's smile, get into it, pretend like you're talking to your dream prospect. Hey, it's so great to be here today with you.
Hey, it's so great to
So
be
great
here
to be
today
here with
with
you
you.
today.
Now, as you know,
Now, as you know,
this is a sales call.
this is a
This is
sales
sales
call.
call.
This is to discover
This is to discover
if I have a package
if I have a package
that can help you reach your goals.
that can help you.
that can help you reach your goals.
Now, I've read through your quiz,
I've read through your
I've read through your quiz,
and I think we might be a great fit.
and
and I think we might be a great fit,
But I need to still ask you some questions.
but I need to still ask you some questions.
It's going to take us about 20 minutes.
It's gonna take about 20 minutes,
20 minutes.
And I need you to answer honestly
and I need you to answer honestly.
if we can see if this will be a good fit or not.
We can see if it's a good fit or not.
Is this okay with you?
Is this okay with you?
Do you see how you just positioned yourself with power?
Yeah.
You're in control.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be in control with sales. This is not about being, oh, I know, let me in control for Bob. No. They're not your friends. And even if you like them as a friend, and even if they're a friend on this call, it's a sales call. You're deciding if it's an offer. It's
Mhm.
like if somebody comes to the car lot, are we just sitting and having tea? No, they have to sell because they have a family to provide for, and so do you, and so do I.
Yeah.
Everybody with me? We need to respect each other. And so you lead the call and you ask the questions. If they have a question, it's okay. Like, oh, can you clarify? There's a few ways of handling it. So you're going to then say, let's say they ask a question. Okay, but what about this thing? You know what? We'll talk about the price at the end. I have a couple different packages, but what we need to discover is still what I need to hear from you. So what's the price? I can only know what the price point would be based on your goals. So there's different packages. Okay. So then you're asking questions and you're just, So the other part that you're not doing is talking over them. So for example, if I said, okay, April, tell me how fast you really want to get to these 10K months.
Yesterday.
Yeah. What are
Yesterday.
you doing to hit those 10K months currently? Like what are you currently doing?
I'm doing my Instagram networking and Facebook, and I am working on my sales PDF. I am networking with friends and people I know to make sure they know what I do.
Mhm.
And I'm looking for some good in-person networking opportunities.
Awesome. Melissa, I'm going to put you on the spot. So, Melissa, we're going to pretend like it's one call.
Yeah.
So, tell me about how many calls are you booking per week and how many are leading to sales?
Yeah, so it's approximately 2 calls per week at the moment, which is
Actually, pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah.
not too bad. I mean,
Yeah.
on average, a few reschedules here and there, but yeah, getting there, getting consistent. Um, Sales wise, I am still getting to the point of getting somebody fully with my new offer, especially the
Mhm.
10K. But do have some interest in at least like talking with me, which is
Yeah.
good. So upselling, I think, is where I am like moving to the next level of learning here and helping
We're
my
going to teach you how to downsell in a minute.
or
So, if I
downsell.
could show
Yeah.
you,
But like I have the interest, but it's like okay, then like transitioning,
Mhm.
then to that next thing. So up or down,
so
whichever.
So if I could show you a way, Melissa, that these clients you're already booking are going to close more frequently and you're going to be closing, at least 20K per month in the next 30 days with these systems, is that a kind of secret system you'd be interested in taking a look at?
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. Yeah.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
so Carrie, we're switching, we're pretending it's one
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
So Carrie, so you've told me that you want to make these 100K months. You're telling me that you're getting interest, but you're not quite closing it. Maybe it's more around 50K. If I could show you how to get it up to the 100K, and would a 10K investment be worth it when you're going to profit 90K?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great. So I know sometimes when we're running lower on cash flow, it's harder to be like, yeah, I want to pay that, but I'm not sure. So this is where I would then say, let me walk you through my sales PDF and let's pretend like money is no object and let's take a look at the options to see which
Mhm.
one would be best for you. See how I did that?
And I like your idea. And I think you and I even kind of went through that in a sense of like tailoring the package if you can, or like
Yeah.
pulling some things out
Yep.
instead of devaluing
Yep.
your
We
original
don't want to ever
offer. So yeah,
upsell. What we
yeah,
always want to do is position ourselves with the highest
highest.
one
Yeah, yeah,
first and then pull back if
yeah,
they need it.
yeah. Got it.
Everyone, because and
Yeah,
then what ends up happening, like, oh, okay, well, this program, you're like, oh my goodness, I love the $60,000 program. And it's got all these different things that I for sure need. However, right now, I just don't have
yeah.
20K for the payment plan. And I'm like, you know what? Let's take a look at, that can be a common thing. So let me show you this other program that's only 25K, and we're still going to get those key pieces in, and we can do a 3 pay. So you're only starting with 8,000 instead of 20,000. Is that more in your range?
And psychologically, it just feels more manageable.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But when people
So,
have it, they want the bigger one. So
Mhm.
the cool thing is when you position two big packages, and I like to just put everything into the big one, like what Alex Hormozy says, if you were going to charge 10x more, if you were going to charge 100x more, what would it look like? That's what I want you guys to create is that one. Make the 100x one more. Make that one-to-one one that you don't really even have time to do for more than two people a quarter, probably, right? But make that big one, because then what you do is then you make the other one like a third the price.
Mhm.
You bring it on in and you're like, you know what? I have this other package. Here's the exact things. You're still going to get this thing. You're still going to get this thing. You're still going to get that transformation. And when you're bringing in the money or when your style's on there, we can always add on. Everybody see that? Because then they're going to be emotionally attached to you. So we want to lower the point of entry, but we don't want to lower our
Yeah.
prices.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So it's a different package. It's not a discounted package. It's not like a lie. And this is what he's talking about the ethics. Like, I'm not discounting my package. I might have a 50K pay in full with a bonus, but I'm not discounting my package. And quite frankly, I might take away my 50K pay in full because I've had several people sign up for the 60K plan, and that's 10,000 is a loss. And it's a lot of work, my 60K plan. Like it's a lot of work. I can really only take like one, maybe two a quarter. So it's you want to really be like, okay, well, what's gonna help me? Like I could sell a 25K package in a 30-day thing, and you want to package your things where it's like it's a fast transformation, it's a fast turnaround, and it's the most bang for your buck and their buck. Okay. And remember, it's not about but somebody else is selling it for 5K. It doesn't matter. Like you have to position yourself over in this area and say, yeah, but if they want to work with me, but that's where you also need to put all these things inside of it that will, like, I would say charge more, but you need to have like some kind of done for you work. Or if you don't have the done for you work, you take a piece of your money and you hire somebody else to do that thing for them. So like April, maybe a style thing you could do. Let's say you charge $10,000. Let's say you allot $500. They're not local to you. You send in an organizer. You go find some people. They pick up their trash for them. They take it to the donation bin. They come into their office and you get some people involved. Do you guys see what I mean? Like when you're charging
Mhm.
more money, you can give people, this is what he said at the beginning of the book. This is what we do. You can give them that VIP experience. If it's digital, if it's in person, you can mail them things you want to mail them, right?
Yeah.
And you can send
Mhm.
people the things that like are going to transform. So does this help? Do you want me to go through some of these
Other
PDF
things.
things?
Yeah.
Really quick too, and sorry, and this goes back to April. I know with your question with the script and everything in that script, and I'll take a look at it, but are they clear that it's a sales call? Because I think that's where sometimes too, I'm like, I don't want to deceive anyone, but at the same time, it's like, I want,
It's a
obviously,
strategy call. That's a
yeah,
fair way of terming
right.
it
Okay.
because you're saying on this call, I need to learn about your goals. And this is where that
Yeah.
quiz comes in and makes it
Yes.
really
Yeah.
clear if they weren't clear. You're
Yeah.
saying, are you in a place to invest? Like this is where
Yeah.
you need to, those questions need to be really direct.
Okay. Got
Does that
it.
make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just wondering, yeah, that sort of transition of like, so they're not just thinking like they're just getting a free like energy audit,
And sometimes
but
sometimes they do. Now, okay, and also back to you, April, to answer energy audit, keep me on track with audits for a second.
yeah.
April, what I would do to repair is one, I would be like, what? It is what it is. The truth is there's a lot of times where like I didn't go through the full sale thing. They just want to buy from me because they like me. So just so you know, like I don't think you can really like you can lose a sale, but at the same time you kind of can't. Like it's hard to know always like that perfect mixture.
Yeah, she
What
wasn't
I
like
just
grilling me or anything. She was just like, "Oh, and I have this problem. Oh, and I have this problem," and just like I couldn't stay focused.
Yeah.
did you
So,
have her fill out
Not
a
for
quiz
that.
ahead of time?
I know I don't have anything like that
Yeah, so you
yet.
have to create one. So just so you guys know, like put it on your to-do list. You have like again, I know you guys all invested to be here, but most of you didn't do my full blown the bigger one, which means like I've limited time. So I just have to say, hey, you need to go do this. Here's an example. Here's how to do it. Put one window open, one window here. Yes, you need to do that. Or again, I had some things open up at the end of this call, if any of you guys want to message or just talk to me about what you need in place, I just want to train you for this time. Everybody needs a quiz, and you honestly need that bigger funnel. That thing, it kills it. So, okay, back to the repair though.
Mhm.
Loom is an incredible resource for everybody. I like to even get the version of it that's a little bit elevated because it does AI and it then actually breaks down the call for you. So you don't even have to barely write your copy at the end. It kind of says, here's the main points. It's amazing. What I would do would be I would send her, I would finish her PDF today, at least a version of it. I would Loom record, hey, based on your questions, let me take you through what you're getting. I'd even have some images up on Pinterest or whatever. You still can send a Loom recording of an overview of just keep it under 5 minutes and even shorter if possible. And you're just answering those things. Say, listen, if you want to do a follow-up call, I do offer like a brief follow-up call, but this isn't for strategy. Remember, like this is to decide on which package. And I know that we could help you get a result. And here's the price point. And if you need a 2-pay, it's this.
Mhm.
That's how
Okay.
I would repair it. Take my power back and send her the PDF with it. Send her a Loom link and be like, would you like to get started? I've actually already sent you an invoice. So here's a side note too, something that I do that's awesome. Send the invoice. You can always delete an invoice. The reason I love to send an invoice, and that's where I list out everything that's included. So it takes people from this whole like, this is the PDF to like, no, this is exactly how I would then customize that package for you. Everyone with me? Here's
Yeah.
that bonus. So she seemed like price was a thing and she gave you some objections. Make that bonus. Bonus. Closet clean out download. Bonus. I'm gonna do an extra call with you to really clean out it depends how bad you want to close that sale. Don't discount, give bonuses. Everybody say it together. Don't
Don't
discount,
discount.
give
Give
bonuses.
bonuses.
But before I never give a discount again on March 1st, you guys all can have access to a discount today. What did Alex Rose he said? He said, let people know before you raise your price. I wouldn't call it that. Let's just call it return client pricing because you've already invested a lot. I do offer that at times and it just depends. And it is like first come, first serve. And it's kind of fast action because like for example, I have several people messaging me on like Loom. And so yeah, if I make a 60K sale, those spots are gone. I'm like, no, those are done now. Like you can't have that anymore. Now it's 25K, it's not 10K. Okay, so like it is first come. So it's like it's the authentic urgency. Like, I don't know, somebody might buy my 60K today, but if they don't, I'm gonna offer this to you. But never with a new client, guys. You can't be doing that business. You can offer like I think Carrie started because I had this $9.97 deal and it was like essentially an hour call, but I gave her the bonus course, which was legit. And I still got paid for my call. And then she's like, oh, she's real deal. Because Carrie's real deal in the same industry, a similar industry, not exactly the same. And you can sniff someone out, right?
Yeah.
So you can be like, this is real or not. And so Melissa, one thing with your PDF, what I would say is like for $10,000 offers, the one thing and above 20,000, 30,000, and Carrie, I don't have to talk to you about that because you already do done for you work. Is you have to figure out some kind of experience done for
Mm,
you. So
yeah.
Melissa, have you thought about like what's some done for you, like boundaries with business? Like I just am almost like, do we even retitle you? Because I don't think it's clear.
Yeah. So my ask for another one of these meetings is, can we talk about the very first part of the funnel, which is the marketing piece, which is the messaging. And so that's where I think I've been struggling to get through to people. Like people are definitely responding to my empathic, like in tuneness, and then also that like, sort of encouragement and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know that people, I have a quiz now. I did build it. I'm going to send you girls a link in a day or so of like, are you a business empath? But again, I'm like, are people going to are they going to care? Like, is there some
Well,
other
what's
way to
the
say it?
result? Like the thing is
Well,
like that's a term. So I'm called like a
yes.
business strategist. But
Yeah.
there's no if I said are you a business strategist? I don't know the result. So for
Yeah.
you, it would be like how I can help business entrepreneurs who want to be in tune. I would say like, what is the result that you're going to give them with your personal specialty? And I think that's the piece that needs a little bit more fleshed out is what's the transformation? And actually,
Yeah.
let me open up
Yeah.
your PDF really quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you
And
ladies have some ideas for her too,
I think it's going to have to be like, so I have been thinking, and in some of the like, for like my course, for example, I think the outline, the mini course that I've been working on, the outline of the transformation in there, I think is what I need to relay better, which is like, hey, We're going to look through where you're spending your energy. And then from there, we're going to look at what are the things are you basically getting hung up on? Are you people pleasing too much? Are you overthinking things? It's usually probably a combination of those things. So it's like then extending out to that, and then extending out to putting better habits in place, and then extending out to, kind of some
So
mental work.
like, let me come here and like keep, so here's the cool part. You did a lot of this work. Now we can edit.
Yes,
And
exactly. Yeah,
so
I know this is
that's why I was telling all of you, like, you have to
yeah.
start
Yeah.
somewhere. Believe me, the things you saw, my like 30-hour one came from 12 years of making sales PDFs, and it still took me 30 hours. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, like, this, we have to do this work, and we can sell, we can learn and earn all along the way, right? Isn't that great? And I mean, with branding, they might just work with you because they like you. So one thing I would say here would be like, just to add this to your thing is, I would say like what would be the transformation? Like, what's the result they're getting at the end of it? You're kind of listing what you're guiding them through, but
Mhm.
what would be the results that people would be willing to pay for?
Yeah. So it's like working through that, I think, energy issues, right? So how do they go from having no energy to getting their energy back or knowing how to protect their energy?
Okay,
Those
if
are
you're
two
just
things.
talking to entrepreneurs and we niche this thing down, I
Yes.
would say how to map out your dream life and business plan, how to create life energy hours versus business hours that serve your personal flow, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
um how to communicate and stand up for yourself so that you blah blah blah, how
Confident.
to attract people who honor and appreciate your unique, tender energy and
Mhm.
want to do business with you. Like, if I was just talking directly to entrepreneurs who are interested in those things. So I think this would be a listen. And April and Carrie, do you guys mind giving her some feedback about this as well? I mean, you are entrepreneurs.
Yeah. And I'm probably an empath. Like I'm not, that's one reason I want to be an entrepreneur is I really literally can't function in corporate environments.
Same
But
here. So
but
yeah, I can relate.
yeah, like I would be I would, but like I know I kind of know what this is,
Yeah.
but it would be like really attractive if you had maybe like I don't know, like your value statement or whatever was like, I'm gonna help you be effective, or I'm gonna
Good.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna get like we're gonna pull out all the things that are holding you back and teach you how to use that as your superpower.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
like
you're
the thing that other people are trying to stomp on, that's a really good idea. This would be really good with your messaging. One second.
and I do have that as like an idea for I've been working on like a basically like a guide, Carrie, on that same line of like leverage your superpowers, like how to use them in business and life. But maybe I need to like pull that message further into like be more obvious versus it just be
Well, there's like messaging, and then there's also, again, results. Okay, so there's marketing messaging, which we're going to use in our sales PDF to talk to our dream clients. But you really want to tap into like, what were those ultimate pain points? Like, uh, it- did you put those links in there? I don't know if I could zoom in because they were really tiny. And okay, you did yours too. Um, which ones were like the pain points, Melissa? I'm just like going
oh.
through WhatsApp. Let me see.
So I think if you look at sorry, the one that has the five names on it. I mean,
Okay.
there's the pain points of like, I don't have enough money and blah, blah, blah. Like there's those common ones, but those
Yeah,
five,
I'm talking about the emotional one. So is this one like,
yeah.
I'd rather listen to my gut than someone else's
Yes,
advice?
they're mixed in there. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably scroll
So
through them, but yeah.
who do you want to serve?
Well, I think where we landed was basically business empaths or people in the corporate world or people who are working for themselves, people who are working a small business, but
Those are
people
two
who are
very
trying to,
different things. So you're gonna just have to decide. So who do you think do you want to serve people kind of like you who maybe it took a long time to quit corporate America? They're now striking out on their own and then they're finding, oh my goodness, there's these other I have to like stand up for myself and I have to send
yeah,
contracts and I have to like the other thing I thought about for you and I'd like you to sit with this or you
yeah,
might just have an obvious no or it might be like maybe you're really good with organization and getting all these things laid out. I'm wondering if there's an element of some themes, contracts, to-dos,
mhm,
organization,
it's
checklists
helping them with
of
that in their business.
yeah, that feel tangible.
Yeah, yeah,
People just like tangible. So
yeah,
I'm always like, what
no,
could we do with you
yeah,
that gives them that or another idea? And you can write all these things down.
yeah,
You can maybe have a saying and have like a t-shirt and a water bottle and a journal and the pen that then there's elements of bringing people into an experience. So
mhm,
everybody say experience.
experience.
And we were
Experience.
talking about this with April yesterday and people want an experience,
Yeah.
right? Why would they go like, okay, what's the difference in you guys going to a chamber of commerce thing in your town or paying money and flying to me? First of all, it's very different, but people can get free advice, not saying it's great advice, still go network. Like, what would make you fly somewhere, go somewhere? You guys have all flown to events, right? Why do you want to even fly away from your home and get on a plane and like go anywhere else? Like, couldn't you just go to the store down the street? You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Or go online. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's like the people at those events are higher quality and it's getting out of your like your place where you're operating all the time in a different
Mm.
space and sorry, I don't
Yeah, no, it pulls you out of your element. Yeah, no, I
Oh, it's for
agree. And
the
like,
question's for all of you.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So the PDF, it's not a PDF. It's just a description of a vision to communicate what you can do for them. And it's so ethereal. And I think we try to like rationalize, oh, I can't charge this much or I can't because like you can charge whatever you want. And now if people aren't paying you, you might need to adjust the offer but sometimes it's really just the offer. So for you, Melissa, like if I went through each of you on what you need to work on, Melissa, it's like I think we need to get a little more clear on
yeah.
like
More
you put together
specific.
this amazing looking PDF. It looks great. The branding's so much better. You did such a good
Thank
job
you.
laying it
Yeah, you
out
helped.
simply.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
but you did a
Yeah,
good job using it.
yeah,
And it so it's awesome. So now we have this really good skeleton. Like now we need to really hone in on your messaging just
yeah,
take some
yeah,
time and we can work on that together as well. Okay. For you, April, I would say like, that confidence, you're not changing your price point for this chick or any chick, or any man. You like, it's like, this is what's included. Here's my big package. Let's flush that thing out. Let's list out the big shebang. And then, hey, you know what? Here's that smaller, that 30-day style makeover, and we can still work together. And that's only, 1,000 even. But just don't give them a ton of the work. It's like, okay, it's a 1 hour call and it's 2 follow-up calls, and you can have WhatsApp, you can text me some pictures, and it's this and it's 1,000. It's still way better than $100 an hour, right? That's still like $250. But I mean, you have to do this other work, do sell two up to 2,000. Sell, four, excuse me, do the 8 week for 5,000. So like again, like 1,000 is still a lot more money than somebody going to like it's still a good price point, but I'm not saying do an 8 week. I'm saying like, okay, do a 30-day and it's 2 calls. Like the 30-day still looks bigger because you're saying, okay, and you get WhatsApp support. And this is what he's talking about. You beef up the thing with things that don't take that much extra time.
yeah,
Right. So you still
Mhm.
made $1,000 and you still had some, but like the other package is better because you're like, lead with this is all you get. You get this unique thing. You get that thing. We're going to measure you. I'm going to do a Zoom call. I'm going to show you how to get measured. I'm going to look in your area. I'm going to help you find a seamstress. So anything that's not fitting you properly, we're going to take the time. We're going to try on all the things. Like I'm going to spend hours with you the next 8 weeks, right? Me and you are going to be buddies. and it's going to take a lot of my time. I'm going to save you lots of money. I'm going to show you how to clue these things in. You're going to throw it out or you're going to donate it. I'm going to send someone to your house and they're going to take it for you. You don't have to do anything. Do you guys see what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
see
yeah.
how that is? And Carrie, we just need to make that PDF and we need to up your prices and you just need to believe and not give any more discounts and don't let your team do your sales for you and 100K days on the way. I'd love to help you make $1 million in 10 days. I just did the math. It was like 100K days times 10 days would be $1.2 million.
Ah,
Or I guess that would just be 1 million, whatever, math.
so exciting.
You know. Like, really a lot is possible when we dial it in, right? When we are like, this is the transformation we're giving you. This is what we can offer. And so, because just Melissa, yours is a little more when it's coaching, but you want to coach biz, but people charge it. I mean, think about one of the top
Yeah.
people online is the life coach lady. What's her name? I've seen her live at a ClickFunnels event.
But,
I mean, quite frankly, I think
Yeah.
I do a lot of life coaching myself.
Yeah.
When people like you, they just want to talk to you.
yeah.
And so just get paid for it,
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I know I could do this. It's just like, how do I tell people what I do? Like, I'm like, oh, I'm so
I would say
like,
I help entrepreneurs draw clear boundaries and have clarity so they can charge what they're worth and protect their energy at home and in business. That's what I would say you do.
okay.
That's what I think people would pay for. So I'm just going to say the thing I think people would pay for, right? Like, so, I mean, I could teach somebody guitar if they paid me 100,000 too. Sure. I'd happily sit and play the guitar, play that funky music, white girl, and I will sit and play. but most people aren't going to pay me 100K for that. So let me do this exercise before anyone needs to go, right? Like would be this. Okay. So this is what it's me in the drawing, right? I would say again, so it's like, there's things you're good at and can teach.
Yeah.
There's things people want. There's things people will pay for. And then there's this thing that's like
It's like
things
this big, but
will
when you get to
pay way more for.
Yeah.
And it's right there with 2 eyes.
and you feel like you're like reaching around for it. I mean, when you're at my stage, at least I feel that way. Like, I'm like, I can't.
And then you
believe it."
but like you're
Yeah.
getting there. And think about if you were trying to do this without help.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I did. It was lame and I did not charge enough money and I worked with bad people. So and it's my bad, right? I was working through whatever journey I had to go on.
Yeah.
But this is why I'm passionate about trying to help you guys like figure it out, get there faster and just make these
Yeah.
decisions and get it done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can I ask, Tiana, do you mind? I know we're all here today, but do you mind still sharing this recording? Because I really want to go back and like listen to some of this again. Just,
Yes,
we all think that.
100%. And I'll get the PDF and it has those specific links in it. And I'll share the PDF in the Shine group. Like I'll do it right after this call, just so it's
Okay.
done. And then I'll be going through by tomorrow to get I uploaded last week's, and then I'll be going through to get the last 2 weeks prior, just to get those all updated. So thanks for your guys' patience while I went through the family emergency time. And I'm glad, like, it's amazing with the internet. I only had to miss like a couple calls, but like still being able to get the next week, even though I was still traveling. This is why this is the best. This is why I think it's the best business. It's like, it's great to have an office, but it's great that I don't have to be here if I don't want to be here.
You can be on your phone.
Can't be here. Yeah. Well, let's make sure we get a selfie too. And I can answer a couple more questions. And I know like if you guys have any questions about any offers or any extra help, we can do that. But let's get a picture. Okay, what should we like hold up? I'm gonna hold up my new website and social media audit checklist. This is a really good way to. I like it. Carrie, I like your. Oh, that's adorable.
I have my daughter's coffee cup, but
I don't want to do the expect miracles one instead. Okay, you guys ready to? Yes, I love it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You're all so lovely. Okay, I'll press stop. Well, unless if maybe I say something. Does anybody else have any other questions? Are you good to go? You want to kind of get to work and do your thing? Do you have questions about I definitely I'm going to host something out here. I don't know if I'm going to host it for all three of you or if one of each of you just wants to come or what it is. If you all three do want to come, I'll give you a discount because it won't be one-to-one time. I think it would be awesome to get together. So if you can put together 1 or 2K for a deposit and we can all schedule a date that works for us. I also have a photographer already lined up. I would do hair and makeup. We would do photos and branding stuff here, but we would work. So we do that, have fun together, and then we would work together. And I would love to show you in person how to take photos of yourself, like how to do stuff on the go,
Mhm.
how to do your videos on the go. Like you will save a lot of money. I just met with this other lady this week, the celebrity lady, and she's talking about all the people she hires out. And these are the things I teach you guys how to do, right? Like, so she has a video editor lady that like it does only once a week stuff. It's 2K a month, right? Then there's like the PR marketing person, 2K per month. Then there's like the video, and some of these things are okay to hire out one time. But when you build all that into a monthly fee system, it's difficult to still profit and also like even deliver them. Like I had to slow down my video lady because like just even my deliverables to her. And it's also like when you're in business, like people, it's like the wisdom, the discernment, like, well, which thing do I hire for me right now? And actually which thing does work? And there's a lot of things I've just managed to do on my own and been extremely successful at, and I've systemized, and I can teach you things online and I can do things for you. There is something about some tricks of the trade you can learn in person. I've personally invested 15K to fly somewhere and it was worth it. I sold to pay for Airbnb. The one thing is if you guys did all do it together, I'll take a couple thousand off each ticket and you guys could all stay at an Airbnb. I can actually help find one for you too, right? Like I can say like, hey, you guys can split that. Dallas is super affordable to fly into. And the other thing I'll cover is I'll get you transportation to and from the airport as well. So think about that. But I need deposits and I need we need dates because I have a court date in April again and I'd like to do it before that. What I'd really like to do is help you guys like end this quarter super strong, celebrate together, and have a plan for your next quarter. So you can all message me if you're interested. I have a one-to-one price and I have a group price, and you guys can decide. You're the only ones I'm inviting. I've done one-to-one days before. I swore I would never do them again. And then I met all of you, and I'm like, well, it would be fantastic. And because I know this area and because it's super affordable to fly into Dallas, I think it could be a very yeah, it'll be 10K or whatever, but it won't be 25K. And that's how much it will be March 1st because this is the warnings. So as of March 1st, I'm not giving discounts on any of my prices anymore. I will probably still return client things when someone's invested certain levels, but because I am selling these 60K packages, it doesn't make sense because my time is my time either way. But I will say scholarship pricing, we'll see. Like I'm not slamming it. I'm just saying be prepared because the other thing is that like I also want to lead by example and out of necessity and out of fear and out of my own small beliefs. I've not always led the perfect way. I'm just being honest. And it's been hard sometimes because I have kids to pay for and I had all these things come up and I don't want to do that anymore. I'm hearing the Hormozy thing myself and I'm seeing it and I've seen myself when I'm staying aligned, how much more peace I have and how much more I attract the right people. You guys are the right people. Duh. You're amazing. And I want to show you how you should be charging 10, 25K and Carrie needs to be charging 100K and no less than that really, because then they can just not work with you because you've built up such an incredible thing. And Melissa, you still had all these years of experience that you're going to draw upon. And same with you, April. Like just because you're restarting, you're not new.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not in new
Yeah. We're
prices
not
here.
newbies.
No,
Yeah.
we're
Exactly.
not.
There's so much to
No.
offer. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think that's important. And I hope that I can give that to you compared to like these courses and different things. Like, no, you guys are serious business owners. You want to scale. I mean, you want 7 figures, right? Like, do you really want to stop at 6?
No.
We already had 6.
No, we're
So
I
we're
want an
rich ladies.
empire one day.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
building an empire. So this will be 10K. If you guys all do it, I'll do it 8K if you each want to come. Otherwise, you just message me. But next time it'll be 25K. But we can back it up with some other events and we'll go network. I mean, what we really should do. You guys should You should see me at an event. I'll show you how to go in there and kill it. Like you'll walk away with hundreds of thousands of contracts. I did the last 2 events I did this year. I've closed probably a couple 100K from each one, and no ads. Like, I think it's smart to go to these events. Like, but that's the now money. And the thing we all are trying to also build though is the real long-term growth is being able to sell your education, is to have a business that you can do from anywhere at any time. And that's what I'm trying to teach you, that at the same time. This is like a temporary problem for now money, but you want to grow your audience so that you can sell a $2,000, a $3,000 course or any done for you work and have real freedom. Does that make sense? Is that what the goal is for each of you as well? Like it's like that scalability.
Yeah.
And then there's the diversifying into real estate and into honestly though, you don't make as much money in real estate as you do in your business, but I think it's probably important to diversify funds and retirement and Roth IRAs, whatever. But really your business, if you're slaying it and you can pour it into these other things, I think our business is the best wealth building thing ever. Everyone agree? The
Yeah.
best.
Well, it's like building this base and then getting into that passive income, like
Yes.
being able to then do the passive income stuff, which
Yes.
is like, and not have to, I don't want to say not have to hustle so much, but just not
Well,
hustle in the
once you
way
even have
that
like
you
20K
want.
in business
Yeah.
savings that doesn't have
Yeah.
to go anywhere, it gives you like a relief. So I would
Yeah.
write that down for
Yeah.
all of you, like your own account with 20K at all
Yeah.
times,
Mhm.
is really nice because it's like, oh, if I need to pay an ad. So part of this is like next step. So
Go
this
see
was first
Tiana.
step, refoundationalize, get your offers. Next step, which I would be potentially interested in, just like not new people, like if you guys were like, we want to reinvest or whatever, or even just staying in the 7-figure club, whatever way. Next step is like, how do we grow the email list? And then the third phase is Facebook challenge funnels and really scaling those and selling one to many. And like, but really, I will say the evergreen is even more impactful. So you do the challenge funnels when you want a big influx, but the evergreen things, and I mean, like, even this, like, I know I can run an ad to something like this. And I really created this to help Eli actually, because he was wanting to do like Loom audits. And I was like, well, here's the checklist. I was like, and this is why they always become the best checklist. I make it for like myself or like one of you or something. And then I'm like, oh yeah, like everyone's going to want this. So, and they always do. And for all of you, what I would say, keep this in mind. Is there something you could sit on? This is a little tad different. They're going to usually ask you for this. And then what you do is you're like, hey, by the way, did you know I actually offer free audits or free style guides or free strategy calls or free SEO audits? You do? Yeah, I do. Oh, would you like that? That's when you send that other shorter quiz. This is always first step, like that free offer, because then they're in and they're getting this value. And until you have that, we still start with the other bit, right? But just so you know, that's the flow. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And then people are like, so then we have automations like ManyChat and like different things I want to help you guys with. But we have to start by, our offers have to be super dialed in. We need to have a very dialed in free offer that's automated. Then we could drive ads to that. Okay. And so I want to talk advertising, but we need the killer free offers. We need these sales offers dialed in. So you know how to make 10, 20K organically, which is totally possible. Let's just say 20K organically. And I know, Carrie, you have different numbers, but let's pretend like you were just selling your own courses and you didn't have a whole team. Like 20K would go a long way, right? Like if you don't have like a whole team to provide for, that's a good amount of money. But if you've got a team and you've got a family and a business, like, okay, where'd the 20K go? It goes so fast. Yeah,
50.
exact
Where'd
100%,
the 50 go?
100%. I know. I made like 65K the other day, but because I had to pay like all these things down, I was just like, where did 65K go? Lawyers. Anyway, like it's worth it. You got to do what you got to do sometimes. So, and like back in the day, I would have like gasped at 60. Where did it go? Like, cause I couldn't even, I didn't know how to make 5K, so our wealth grows. And I heard a cool video by Alex Hormozy before we go, like ending on Hormozy. It was just a minute video like yesterday. And he was talking about how the wealthy, which I consider all of us wealthy because we're in America and we know how to make cash flow. And even if it's not like millions yet, you'll get there. It's not the most of the world, right? And he's like, the wealthy actually feel like they're not as wealthy because there's always like something to reach for, right? Like you're like, oh, but whereas the poor a lot of times are like, they're kind of content where they're at. So in fact, like the wealthy a lot of times feel poorer than the poor feel. I thought that was very
Hmm.
interesting and insightful.
Mhm.
I guess because you're never satisfied, maybe. But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
part of
Play
the
cue the
lesson.
Hamilton song. I'll never be
Yeah.
satisfied.
I
Okay,
love
so
that.
send me
So
any
it sounds
questions.
yeah.
My offer, the special on the pricing is this week. Some kind of deposit. If you can't pay the full one, let me know. But if you guys want to do arrange a date, maybe you guys chat amongst yourself. I'm not gonna take it personal. I'm gonna be fine either way. But I would love to meet you guys, and I would love to host you here. And I've already looked into plans, so we can figure out essentially what I'm gonna charge. Just so you know, is like it's 25K is what I usually charge for just a 1 day, 1-to-1, like 1.5 days. For 2 days, 1-to-1, each of you would be 10K if you pay a deposit, and you have to have it paid in full like 2 weeks before like you come. So we'd set a date, and if it wasn't paid, we'd have to move the date out, right? I'd like to do it in March. And if you all want to come for the full 2 days, I'd be willing to do it for 8K, and you each would save some cash flow, and you can send me a deposit and figure out how to make your cash. And I know you all paid money and all that, but there's a lot more to do, and there's a lot more to learn. And sometimes those push goals of having it help you get there, right? So a lot of these people, they sell in my industry like 2K for just like 50 people in a room. It's $2,000, and it's not like that. What we're talking about is a business boot camp in person, but that's fun and relaxed. We'll do fun things, but we will get a photo shoot done, branding session. It's really nice if we can all get together, because we could go to some different places local and be together. I also will have a conference room here, so you can use the photos. Everyone would have to sign off on it that you can use each other's photos together. And something like you, April, maybe you have some clothes, we stack them up, and it's like style guide, and we take photos. Like, we can customize each of them. But then really, I like I said, so I can map it all out. I've done it before. I've done it multiple times. As I said, always say I'm never going to do it again. And then, like, it feels right. So, and then other than that, just get the sales PDFs together, message us any questions. You each have your things to work on, and we're here for each other. And I think you're doing amazing. I hope you all feel encouraged and have clarity. Do you have questions? Do you feel a certain way? I'd love feedback, because I want to make sure what I'm teaching you is landing. That's very important to me. Is it working? Like, are you feeling like you can make some progress and get results and make this cash and scale your business?
I think it's very helpful. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think we all agree. So hopefully, no, it's so helpful. All these details and even the script today. And thank you, April, for asking that question, because it's those little logistics too that we're new at that piece of it.
Yeah.
So for you, I know it's natural, but that's so helpful just to like you said, don't leave an ingredient out. Well, if I don't have the
Yes.
recipe, then like it's even harder.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's just I think for me personally, and I'll keep working on this, Tiana, and is just that like clarity, and then the result, and then being able to relay that in my marketing. I think that's
Yeah.
honestly where I'm seeing me not making the impact that I need to then get those people.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that page
So
that I sent you, that I even
yeah,
mapped that out, because that's what I kind of felt, and I've been
yeah,
trying to like it come to me. I think
yeah,
that's going to be helpful. And I think for you is niching exactly who you're talking to.
yeah.
And I think it does
I've
matter.
been too broad. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, I heard Sabri Subi say, like, don't niche down. And, Alex says something different. So I think it depends on the person,
Yeah.
honestly.
I don't want to be niche
For,
slapped.
yeah, niche
Yeah,
slap. Yeah, it's
he says that in
hilarious.
his
Yeah,
stuff.
he's funny. The way Sabri Subi talks, I'm like, you're a genius. He's so funny. I'm like, you're so
Yeah.
adorable. Yeah. Like, he's so smart too. He's so smart. Anyway, I'm just always
Yeah.
like, oh my goodness, I just learned so much in 6 minutes. I have to rewatch this. I'm like, God, I thought I was smart. And then I hear these guys that I'm like, I have so much to learn. But with Hormozy, I would say, like, when you do serve certain people, the one thing, like, I really appreciated that he said, and it actually helped me too, because like a lot of local business owners, he's like, when I was growing the gym thing, could I have helped a coach or a course creator or a business? Yeah, I could have helped any of them, but I decided I'm going to help these gym guys. And that's when I made all that money. And I actually think that I think that each of us, if you choose, so for me, I really am narrowing in on like coaches, course creators, and those like, and underneath even coaches, it could be investors or real estate agents that want to share their knowledge. But really, it's like people who want to share their knowledge and their experience to coach or course create. Like, that's my thing. Like, some of these business owners, I taught them, but they're like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And I just like feel the resistance. I'm like, I don't need to do this with them, right? Like, if they want to take my core, but they don't usually. So, like for you, Carrie, I don't know if you have specific people you know are like, if it's e-commerce stores or universities or like, I think listing out. So, next steps for all of you too. Why don't you really decide who you're going to talk to and list out what that includes and stay away from the rest? Because then it really helps you talk to people. So, like for you, Melissa, I think entrepreneurs is where it's at, like women who have left corporate America
Mhm.
and you're looking to start your own coaching or course business. And I'm going to show you how to create boundaries, how to create your time schedule, how to organize your life for it to serve you. And maybe there's an empathic part of that, but maybe like, because I think like the business empath, I think it's good, but I think it's so narrow that I'm not sure it's hitting. But you
Yeah,
still have
yeah,
all this to offer. So let's
yeah,
talk to, and we may need to A/B test the title, but I would
yeah.
say that would be it. Do you guys think that that would be like clarifying for Melissa too, or any thoughts on that?
Plus,
Yeah. Yeah, I was
I
gonna say like I'm not sure everybody identifies with being an empath, even if they
yeah,
are. So I
Mhm.
yeah,
think talking to what that actually means to a person and how they feel and how they
Mhm.
perceive the world is going to
Yes.
grab those empaths better.
yeah,
Yeah, or like naming out like what the struggle is, because I might not
Yeah,
know I'm an empath, but
Yep.
right.
I know that I have a lot of trouble prioritizing, or I don't
Yep.
like
yeah.
insert things. So if you're like, are you this, and this? And then I'm like, oh my
Okay,
God, yes.
okay.
Tell me
Got it, got
more.
it. Yeah,
Hmm.
You
yeah.
know what? I just had an
Okay.
idea you saying that. You know what I think empaths struggle with a lot, whatever they struggle being pulled from the emotions of their family and people
Mhm.
around them and not focusing on their things they need to do for themselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
And I
yes,
think if you
yeah,
talk about that, like, why didn't you go to the gym at 6 a.m.? Was it
yeah,
because your husband was mad or because you were trying to be quiet? Why didn't like
yeah.
have a talk with, you could even have scripts. This is how you talk. Think about scripts. This is
Mhm.
how you have this conversation with your husband. This is how you have the conversation with your children. Mommy's going to be doing this thing. And this is
Yeah,
how you
yeah,
detach from their emotions. Like, do you see what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
I think like, did
Or
you
it's
guys relate with that? Like that all of a sudden is like, because I hear people say like, I'm an empath, but because I had to survive, I just figure out how to do it. But I will tell you, I really do struggle with sales when I'm having an issue with my partner, for
yeah,
example.
yeah,
Okay. So like, cause I'm just like, and then I find my mind wandering and I'm like, no, I need to be like here now. So how do you get present on the things you need to do and let people just feel their emotions? I would say like
yeah.
focus in on
Protect
those
your
things.
energy. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like, April saying, well, how do I get her to pay that? Like, why do you care what she pays? Like, make your business deal. The card costs what it costs. And if they want the the electric, as if nothing's electric anymore, if they want the electric windows, and they want AC and they want heated seats, it costs this much. But if you don't want heated seats and you don't want digital things or whatever, and you want that old beater, okay, well, that's 100.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm like, should I love the Loom video idea, because that's where I felt like I could I can get back like what I do really well is
Yeah.
like the way that I can talk about stuff, and I know all her problems now because I recorded the call yesterday so I can go back. But like would I send her like a 5K package and then like a 2K package and be like, let me
You
know.
just put it in one PDF and you let them decide. Or like, here's the main one. This is my most popular one because you get everything you need. And you just scroll down. The investment is 5,000 and you just let
Mhm.
it sit. So everybody knows, everybody practices with me. The investment is,
The investment is
everyone's going to say 20,000. The investment is
the
The investment
investment
is
is
20,000.
20,000.
20,000.
Just be quiet and don't smile. Don't do anything. And you just let them to say something. The first one to talk loses. Everybody
Yeah,
say
I've
it
heard
with me.
that. The
The
first one
The
that
first one to
first one
talk
to talk
loses.
loses.
yeah. Yep.
The investment is
The
The investment
investment
is
is
20,000.
20,000.
20,000.
Okay. And on a loom, still give it is 20,000.
It's 20,000.
Now, sometimes people don't want to invest in that at this point. I don't say can't afford. They can figure it out. So I do have this smaller option. You're still going to get the basics of what you need. You're still going to get that transformation we've talked about. You're just going to get it a lot faster with a lot more extras with this most popular package, but we can look at both. How about you send me an email back? Let me know which one. I've sent you an invoice for the larger one since that is the most popular. But if you ended up wanting the smaller one, I can edit it to be the smaller price point. And I can't wait to chat with you. Does today at 6 or tomorrow at 11 work for a quick follow-up call? And let's get going. In assumptive positioning. Everybody say it with me. Assumptive positioning.
Assumptive.
Okay, send the invoice. Does this time work? I can't wait to get started. Okay. And even though it like gives you the attitude about it, like they're usually not your people. I'm just going to tell you right now. Like, let me give you red flags or us. Like, so just like you're not going to win them all. So all you can do is show up as your best self, assume it's going to happen because if they're meant for you, they're for you, and just let it go. If not, it's okay. Then you're that step closer to the next yes. And you did it. Yay. Okay. So remember, don't judge your day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant. You guys are amazing. I love you lots. We got our photo. Everybody feeling good?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's finish this week strong. Get to the end of the weekend. Have this ready to go for next week. Okay.
Yeah.
And remember, you can always edit it again next week. Let's say you take a call. You're like, I'm missing something. Okay. But you can still just be in action. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It was so wonderful to see you, Carrie, April, and Melissa. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Bye,
Okay.
girl.
Bye.